For centuries, history books have told a simple story. Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. He sailed west from Spain, looking for a new route to the East Indies. Columbus landed in the Bahamas, believing he had reached Asia. This event marked the beginning of European exploration and colonization of the Americas. Columbus's voyages had a profound impact on the world. They opened up the Western Hemisphere to European powers. This led to the exchange of goods, ideas, and people between the Old and New Worlds. It also resulted in the conquest and displacement of indigenous populations. The traditional narrative of Columbus as the sole discoverer of America is incomplete. Humans have inhabited the Americas for at least 15,000 years. Long before Columbus set sail, intrepid Norse explorers had already ventured across the Atlantic Ocean. Around the year 1000 AD, a Viking named Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red, led an expedition from Greenland to the west. They landed on the coast of North America, in present-day Canada.
Erikson and his crew established a settlement they called Vinland. Archaeological evidence at L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada, confirms the presence of a Norse settlement dating back to this period. The Vikings explored the coastline, encountered indigenous peoples, and even attempted to establish a permanent presence.
However, the Viking presence in North America was short-lived due to conflicts with indigenous tribes and harsh environmental conditions.
The Viking voyages to North America demonstrate that transatlantic travel was possible centuries before Columbus. They challenge the Eurocentric view of history and remind us that the Americas were already connected to the wider world through exploration and migration.
To uncover the earliest chapters of human history in the Americas, we must travel back thousands of years, long before the Vikings or Columbus. A land bridge known as Beringia connected Siberia to Alaska. This land bridge provided a pathway for humans and animals to migrate. Hunter-gatherers crossed Beringia and dispersed throughout the Americas. Archaeological evidence shows humans reached South America by at least 14,000 years ago. They adapted to environments from the Arctic tundra to the Amazon rainforest, developing diverse cultures and ways of life. They became the ancestors of the indigenous peoples of the Americas. While written records from the pre-Columbian Americas are scarce, indigenous peoples have preserved their histories and knowledge through oral traditions. These oral histories offer invaluable perspectives on the past and provide insights into the beliefs, practices, and worldviews of indigenous cultures.
Many indigenous cultures have stories that recount their origins and migrations. These stories often speak of ancestral homelands, journeys across vast landscapes, and encounters with different peoples.
Indigenous oral histories challenge the Eurocentric notion of discovery. From an indigenous perspective, the Americas were never lost or unknown. They were home.
To fully understand the history of the Americas, we must listen to and respect the voices of indigenous peoples. Their stories provide alternative perspectives that enrich our understanding of the past. They challenge us to view history through a wider lens.
Section 5. Challenging Eurocentrism, Rethinking the Idea of Discovery. The traditional narrative of Christopher Columbus discovering America is deeply rooted in Eurocentrism. It centers European perspectives and experiences while marginalizing the histories and contributions of other cultures. The very concept of discovery implies that the Americas were empty lands waiting to be claimed by Europeans, ignoring the presence and sovereignty of indigenous peoples. To decolonize our understanding of history, we must challenge these Eurocentric biases. We must recognize that the Americas were already home to diverse and complex societies long before European contact. Indigenous peoples had their own systems of government, religion, art, and knowledge. When we acknowledge the rich history of the Americas before Columbus, we begin to see a more complete and accurate picture of the past. This shift in perspective allows us to appreciate the contributions of all cultures involved. Section 6. The Clovis First Theory and why it's no longer considered accurate. For much of the 20th century, the prevailing theory among archaeologists was the Clovis First model. This theory posited that the Clovis culture, named after distinctive stone tools found near Clovis, New Mexico, represented the first humans to inhabit the Americas. However, discoveries over the past few decades have challenged and ultimately overturned the Clovis First theory. Archaeological sites in North and South America have yielded evidence of human presence that predates Clovis by thousands of years. These findings indicate that humans arrived in the Americas earlier than previously thought and likely followed multiple migration routes. The debunking of the Clovis first theory highlights the constantly evolving nature of scientific understanding. As new evidence emerges, we must be willing to revise our theories and embrace a more complex and nuanced view of the past. Section 7. Archaeological evidence, tracing back the presence of humans in the Americas. Archaeologists play a vital role in uncovering the mysteries of the ancient past. Through careful excavation and analysis of artifacts, they piece together the story of human presence in the Americas.
One of the most significant archaeological sites in the Americas is Monte Verde, Chile. Dating back over 14,000 years, Monte Verde provides evidence of human habitation that predates Clovis by over a millennium.
Other pre-Clovis sites have been discovered throughout the Americas, from Cactus Hill, Virginia, to Pedra Ferrada, Brazil. These sites challenge the traditional timeline of human migration to the Americas and suggest that humans may have arrived earlier and followed more diverse routes than previously thought. The search for more evidence continues, and each new discovery adds to our understanding of the peopling of the Americas. Section 8. Genetic connections, linking indigenous populations across continents. In addition to archaeological evidence, genetic studies have provided compelling insights into the origins and relationships of indigenous populations in the Americas. By analyzing DNA from ancient and contemporary populations, scientists can trace ancestral lineages and migration patterns. Genetic studies have confirmed the close genetic relationship between indigenous populations in the Americas and those in Asia, particularly Siberia. This supports the theory of migration across the Bering Land Bridge. However, genetic data also reveals a more complex picture than previously thought. Some indigenous groups in South America show genetic markers that are absent in North American populations but present in Australasian populations. Genetic studies continue to refine our understanding of the peopling of the Americas and the connections between different indigenous groups. Section 9. The Solutrean Hypothesis, a controversial claim of transatlantic travel. While the Bering Land Bridge theory is widely accepted, some researchers have proposed alternative routes for human migration to the Americas. One such theory, the Solutrean Hypothesis, suggests that people from Europe may have crossed the Atlantic Ocean during the last glacial period, bringing with them their distinctive stone tool technology.
Proponents of the Solutrean hypothesis point to similarities between Solutrean tools found in Europe and Clovis tools found in North America.
However, the Solutrean hypothesis remains highly controversial and is not widely accepted by the scientific community. Critics argue that the similarities between Solutrean and Clovis tools are coincidental and that there is no other archaeological or genetic evidence to support a transatlantic migration during that time period. While the Solutrean hypothesis is intriguing, it requires further evidence to gain wider acceptance. Section 10. The Complexity of History, Embracing Multiple Narratives. The story of who discovered America is not a simple one. It is a tapestry woven from multiple narratives, each offering a unique perspective on the past. From the voyages of the Vikings to the ancient migrations across the Bering Strait, from the oral histories of indigenous peoples to the ongoing discoveries of archaeologists and geneticists, our understanding of the past is constantly evolving. By acknowledging the contributions of all those who have shaped the history of the Americas, we gain a richer and more accurate understanding of the past. History is not a static collection of facts, but an ongoing conversation, a process of discovery and reinterpretation. As we continue to learn more about the past, we must be open to challenging long-held assumptions and embracing new perspectives. The story of the Americas is a testament to the resilience, creativity, and interconnectedness of humanity. Section 11. Conclusion. A continuously unfolding story. The question of who discovered America is ultimately a flawed one. It implies a single moment of discovery, a definitive claim to a land already inhabited by diverse cultures. Instead of searching for a single discoverer, we should celebrate the multifaceted history of the Americas, a history shaped by countless individuals, cultures, and events spanning millennia. The Americas were never truly discovered because they were never lost. They were home to thriving civilizations, complex trade networks, and vibrant cultures long before European contact. As we continue to explore the past, we must approach history with humility, curiosity, and a willingness to challenge our assumptions. The story of the Americas is a continuously unfolding narrative, and each new discovery brings us closer to a more complete and nuanced understanding of our shared human history.